Hello, everybody. This is Israel Silva. Welcome to the Increase Your Income Challenge. And I'm just so excited to help you increase your income. I want to help business owners. And so we're going to talk about 5 components of business: marketing, sales, operations, administration, and accounting. And today, this is week 3 of the 12-week challenge. If you missed the first 2, go to our website and see what you missed at financialchampionacademy.com. And this week is called Identify the Problem and Offer the Path. You are going to do that in our marketing. That's what we're talking about today. So first thing I have here is a question. If you had 30 seconds with your customer, what would you say? Let's say you just met this new customer. They're your ideal customer. What would you say to them? Like, hello, how are you doing? You had 30 seconds, okay, to try to win their business. It's your ideal potential customer. I probably should have put that word in there. What would you do to close the deal? And that's really what it comes down to, is we need to know what to say, how to say it, when to say it, where to say it, and how to offer a solution to someone's problem. And what is their problem? Knowing it is a part of what we're going to do. And that's what we're going to try to learn today. So today, you're going to learn how to identify your ideal customer and their problem. Very big part. And their problem. Once you know that, and you know they're an ideal customer, then we can go from there. Second thing is you want to position yourself. So you're going to learn to position yourself as the guide. I say here, position the customer as the hero and you as the guide. So you're going to learn to position the customer as the hero and you as the guide. And then third thing is you're going to learn to present the path to success. That's what you want to do. Present the path to success for your ideal customer. Show them the results and what they'll see. If they follow your path to success, you follow your plan, they'll get there. So that is what we're learning today. The first part is identify your ideal customer and their problem. Now, what is an ideal customer? I think you have to ask yourself is, who can you help the most? And there's a really important and there, and who is willing to pay what you're asking for. So that is a big key right there, is who can you help the most, and are they willing, that will be willing to pay what you're asking for. And I'll stop right there. We all have people we want to help. I have done one-on-one financial coaching for hundreds of people, and I did it for free. I helped them. And then I'd say, well, I'm going to start charging. And I did that. And I'm not saying that this is a bad business model, but it didn't work out for me because it took so much time to try to meet with potential customers. And a lot of times they really were people I could help. But the problem is they said, well, I can't pay you, or I don't think that I want to pay that much, $100 for a session. And, if you haven't done one-on-one coaching, as a coach, you prepare for that session. You go over it, you spend your time during the session, and then there's post time after the session. So you can really spend 3 to 4 hours on each customer. So that 1 hour to them is really more like 3 to 4 hours to you. And $100 looks a lot like $25. And after taxes, that looks like a lot like $15 or $16 an hour. And so people don't always understand all that. So again, that second part is, identify the person you can help the most, and they're willing and able to pay what you're asking. So if you're really needing to understand that, so for me, that had to shift my challenge, my way of thinking, and how I was going to do things. So understanding your ideal customer is the person you can help the most. So you have to ask for your business, who can I help the most? I mean, let's say you're a business that installs blinds or solar screens for people. What are you going to do? Who can you help the most? You can help residential people, homeowners, and then you can help businesses too. So you can sell to consumers and then sell to businesses. So those are the people who are you going to help the most. But then the second part is that they're willing to pay for what I'm asking for. And maybe what you're asking for is, from a consumer, you can ask for so much money and they'll pay you that. But what you really want is someone to give you multiple jobs and not just one job. So a builder would be willing to pay probably a little bit less than the individual consumer, but they may give you multiple jobs as they have multiple houses they're building. And so that's something you look at. Again, what are you asking for? You're not asking for one sale. You're asking for multiple sales. So you're asking for, who can I connect with who's going to help me get exactly what I need? And that's really your ideal customer. So one nugget that I learned from one of my mentors was, you don't always have to connect to one person. Instead, connect to one person who's in charge of an organization that connects you to hundreds of people, if not thousands of people. So let me say that again. You connect to a person in charge of an organization or has great influence over that organization. That can connect you to hundreds, if not thousands of customers. So that's really, really important to think about that. And that is how you're, identifying the ideal customer. It doesn't always have to be one person, just one-on-one. It could be one person who connects you to hundreds or thousands of people. And that could be your ideal customer. Now, what you want to find out is, what is your ideal customer's problem? What is their pain point? What is hurting them? What is bothering them? What is costing them money? What is costing them time? What is inconveniencing them? These are the things you need to do to try to get into their mindset. Like, put their glasses on, put them on you and say, oh, I can't see with these glasses. Well, neither can they, but you have to understand what they see. And so you identify the customer's problem by fully understanding their needs. And how do you do that? The only way I know is you ask questions. If we had 30 seconds to speak to someone, how would you even know they're your customer? You would bring up something. Let's say if you sell insurance, you're like, and you're in an elevator, you might say, wow, this elevator's kind of a little old. I'm glad I have insurance. Do you have insurance, sir? And he's like, well, of course. Or no, and I've been thinking about it. Well, you know what? I sell insurance. And we happen to be in a creaky elevator. Now, I'm hoping, like you're hoping, that nothing happens. But you know what? Wouldn't it be nice to know that you had peace of mind by having some life insurance for your family? It's really helping them. And you're like, you got me scared. You got me thinking now maybe you should call me. Well, here's my card, sir. Well, there's no commitment. We just go over, the different things that we offer. So you have children. You want to leave something for them. You have your wife. And, how do you do this? So again, I might not be thinking about that too much in an elevator with a stranger. But when he asked the question, first he brought up like, hey, this is kind of an old, shaky elevator. That makes you think, it puts that doubt. And then hey, I'm glad I have insurance. Do you have insurance? So it's kind of like you put yourself in that situation where you have a solution, you feel good, the peace of mind's with you. Do you have peace of mind? In 30 seconds, you can pretty much ask that question and find out if they have insurance. Now, you may not get the sale right there, but you may get a very strong lead that you made a connection with. And again, that is what you need to do. Ask the questions to find out their problems. Now, if you talk to this person and they say, oh yeah, I have health insurance, I have life insurance, I'm fully covered, I'm really good. You might say, well, maybe you don't die, but you might get hurt. Do you have disability insurance? Because you're more likely, if this thing crashes in this elevator, we might get disabled. And they might say, well, I don't have disability insurance, because most people don't. But that's also something very, very valuable. So again, that is another way you bring it up. So you might have your plan A, your tier 1 product, and then you may have your tier 2 product, your secondary product that you could be selling. So you think about, you ask the question, you understand their problem, and then you understand their needs. So they may have life insurance, but they may not have disability insurance. Here's the thing. We talk about networking with businesses. You're a business owner. Otherwise, you probably wouldn't be watching this. And if you're a business owner, guess what? You can help other business owners. And most likely, when you help other business owners, they may help you. So you may not even sell disability insurance. You may just be exclusive life insurance. But you maybe know somebody who sells disability insurance. And you talk to them and you say, hey, if I send you some leads, qualified leads, would you send some my way for my product? Again, that's how you work together. So that's kind of a sidebar nugget there, is identifying the customer's problem. Is you don't always have to be the one to solve their problem, but if you know another route to their problem, that may give you goodwill. And goodwill means you've helped them, and possibly they will remember you, especially if you have your card right there and you hand it to them. And let me know if you ever need some help on life insurance. I know someone else can give disability insurance. I know someone else can give you car insurance, whatever you may have. And so you become a car insurance, all this insurance person, but that's okay. Top of mind. Keep them thinking. So this is how you identify the ideal customer and their problem. Asking questions in the situation. So what are you selling? What is your product? What is your service? Think about if you had 30 seconds and you really needed to make this sale, what would you do? What kind of questions would you ask to get into your customer's mindset? So that is the first part. Now, the second thing is positioning the customer as the hero and then you as the guide. That's really important. Now, you want to inspire the customer to be the hero. Now, just going back to our in the elevator life insurance salesman type of scenario, you inspire that customer like, well, wouldn't it be great if you had life insurance? And I'm assuming they don't have it. Now, wouldn't it be great if you had life insurance and you left it for your family and your children and even your grandchildren, and you left some money there for them? They wouldn't worry about burial. They wouldn't worry about paying off the house. They wouldn't worry about the children's college fund. All that would be paid for because you took care of them even after you were gone. Now, that was something I just did. I painted a picture for this customer, potential customer, to be the hero. By them making the choice, they can become the hero. That is really what you want to do. Encourage them to make the commitment to be the hero of their own story, to know what their problem is and to solve it. That is what you're trying to do when you're trying to sell your service or your product. Talking to your customer, understanding their situation, and speaking to their problem and identifying this solution that they can make the choice. They can act. Now, number 2, show how you are the guide. So now going back to our insurance, I didn't mean to go deep down this rabbit hole, but it's so important. It's like, now you are the guide. And so if you want to make this decision to get life insurance right now, I can help you. There's so many plans. You can call me on my number right here. I will walk you through every plan we have available. I will describe them and what's best for you. You may not need 40 years of life insurance. You may need 10 or 15. You may need convertible insurance where I can sell you this and you can put money away. Now, just to be transparent, I'm not a life insurance salesperson. I don't sell disability insurance, but I know people who sell life insurance. And if you want, I can introduce you to them. So again, you are the guide and you are trying to show yourself as a guide. You can tell the person, if you be honest with them, you can say, I am a licensed insurance person and I've been doing this for X number of years and I've helped these people. And then you can tell me, I helped my own sister-in-law or my own brother-in-law. I helped my own friend get life insurance. And when he passed away in this tragic car accident, his wife was taken care of. His children were taken care of. You might tell some stories like that where you position yourself as the guide, as a person who's solving a problem and helping you, customer, become the hero of your own story. And I will help walk you through that. And I always think about Star Wars. You guys, the original series, of course, you had Luke Skywalker. He was on this journey, and then Obi-Wan Kenobi was the guide. And Luke just wanted to explore. And here comes Obi-Wan Kenobi, the older gentleman who has all the experience, who was what really is that Jedi master. And that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to position yourself as the guide that's going to help this potential customer become your customer and solve their problem. Position them, the customer, as the hero, and you are their guide. Now let's go to the next part here. Present the path to success. Present the path. So you're going to present the path to success by demonstrating what you'll do with them, why they will take this path, and how it's going to work for the customer. And again, this can be used for anything. You want to present what your solution is. You want to present what your product or service is, but you want to do it in such a way that, again, customer, you can be the hero. You can get life insurance, and you can be the hero that leaves money there, funds, important funds for your family when you're gone. Here's how you do it. Get my number here, scan the QR code, put your email address in there, and hit submit. I'll get back to you. I'll schedule a meeting with you. I'll walk this through at your convenience, and we will set you up for a 10-year or 20-year plan, or even a 40-year plan if you want, and you will be covered for the rest of your life or for this period of time that you've chosen. That's all you need to do. Scan the QR code, put in your email address, hit submit. 1, 2, 3. People like steps, but they don't like a lot of steps. They like 3 steps. 1, 2, 3 steps. Whatever you need to do, give them only 3 steps. That is key. That is critical for you to set up when you're trying to sell to this customer. Again, Can you make a deal in 30 seconds? Yeah, they're not going to sign up right there, but you've actually planted the seed and given them the steps and put it in their control. Now, the next thing is, number 2 here is you show the results of following the path. You give them the possible results for following it or for not following it. So in this case, you talk to this potential customer who's in the elevator with you. You've never met before, but now you've got their attention and you're saying, follow these 3 steps. Scan the QR code on my card, put your email address, hit submit. Now, if you do this, if you leave this, if you leave my office after signing this, we'll get this set up in, 1 week or 2 weeks at the most. But as soon as we sign up, if you were in a car accident, if you, God takes you in some unfortunate way, but you will have this amount of money that you set aside in your insurance policy, and it'll cover your family. They will be covered. Yes, they'll be crying and they'll be missing you, but they will be comforted in the sense that they won't have any financial concerns. They already have enough stress, and they will know. And I got to go back to my own personal life. My wife, her dad was diagnosed with cancer at the young age of 62. It was devastating, and he held off for about 2.5 years. And interesting thing was he had life insurance, and his life insurance expired at 65, and he died at 64.5. Now, it's important to get that term long enough, but his life insurance was enough money to set aside monies for his wife, my wife's mother, and his wife was covered for the rest of her life, pretty much as a small payment every month. And that's what he left her. He had left her a paid-for home and money to cover for her expenses. Now, she didn't make her rich or anything. He didn't get this huge policy, but he was able to give peace of mind to his wife. And he knew when he got that diagnosis of cancer that his time was very limited, and he was covered with that. He knew that he had left something for his wife. Again, this is where you're painting that picture and you're saying, here's the path, here's the results. The results are that you can have a family you leave in a good position. Now, what if you didn't do this? What if you didn't sign and you didn't have that policy and you left with no insurance, no life insurance, and you were in an unfortunate accident? Now your family is hurting because they can't cover a $30,000 funeral. They can't cover to pay out the house, or they can't cover the kids' college funds right now because you were the only one working, or you were covering 60 or 70% of the income, and the stress and all these things that come with it, and all the hospital bills that they may have still occurred while they were still trying to save your life if it was a car accident. The stress enough of losing you, and now the stress, again, I'm not trying to sell you insurance, but I'm just trying to illustrate to you what you do is you paint the picture for your customer, and then you do the call to action. So that's encouraging to act now. That's why I said you say, hey, here's my card with the QR code, email address, hit submit. And let's schedule your appointment within 2 weeks. Now, again, this is just an example of what I'm trying to tell you. You present your customer, you understand what they're going through, and then you work through the steps here. This is all called story brand marketing. It comes from Donald Miller from his book, Story Brand, and he has another book called How to Grow a Small Business. And so I didn't make this stuff up. He took this from understanding and studying story. And so that's one of the things that I want you to understand is we can put this in the work and put this into play in our own business by understanding who are our customers and how can we help them. So I got some action items for you to do right here. It's just really one action item in several parts, but it's complete your story brand method. That's what I want you to do. Complete your story brand method. And A, B, and C here, I didn't put it, but the first dot is identify your customer and their problem, position the customer as the hero and you as the guide, give the path to success and the call to action. So I want you to write these things out. This is your homework. This is what you're going to do to better your business. What is your product? Who is your ideal customer? What is your service? And write and go through these steps. Now, in our next lesson, we're going to take these steps. We're going to take the story brand model and we're going to figure out how to use it in your marketing, how to apply it to your website, how to apply it to your business cards, to your brochures, to your bandit signs if you have them, how to apply it in your 30-second elevator pitch and making that $1 million signature statement, proposal, that $1 million pitch. So that's what we're going to do next week. But you need to do this first part, is complete these action items. Again, this is what we're going to use, and I know it's going to be great for you. So I hope that you will do that. Now, in the Financial Champion Academy, we always have a challenge, and we follow this challenge. This is a 12-week challenge we're doing. We're in week 3, and so you are participating in this challenge. So you've done part 1. You accepted the challenge. Now, part 2 is create the epic goal. The goal of improving your business by increasing your income, your revenues, getting more leads. I mean, what do you need to do? We talked to go back to last week's lesson, and we talked about setting 12-week goals. And so you may be now down to 10 or 9 or 8, but set some goals and specific measurable goal. And then we're going to talk about how to achieve that by improving your marketing, sales, operations, administration, and accounting. One of those steps, one of those components of business, we're going to work on those every week. We're going to have a little bit on one of those. And so then that is, we talked about completing your activities and your tasks. That was in last week's lesson. And then defeating the villains. Basically, you need to figure out what's going to hold you back and what's going to keep you from winning, and write that down. Write those habits, places, people, or hangups that are going to keep you from achieving success in this challenge, and then create the strategy for defeating those villains. Collect and activate power-ups. That's one of our steps as well. Basically, you need to figure out what encourages you, what motivates you, what keeps you going, and make a determination to activate those power-ups. I hope I can be a power-up for you, that you come back to our weekly webinar and that you learn from us, and that you follow these steps and you put them into action. That could be your power up. Hey, watch Israel on the Increase Your Income Challenge. And the next one is recruit allies. You don't have to do this by yourself. You can join the Financial Champion Academy, have members here support you, or you can do this with other friends and colleagues at your business and try to follow these steps. The next one is identify and adopt a secret identity. So this is more of a psychological thing. Like, who am I going to become? What do I want to be? And then you go for that. Like, I'm going to be a successful business owner who does X, Y, and Z, and this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to follow these character traits. So that is what you can do. The last one is celebrate the victory. Define the celebration right now before the 12 weeks end. And then once you achieve your success, you celebrate by going and doing that. So I hope you'll follow this. This is a Super Better method. We've integrated it into this 12-week challenge. Super Better method by Dr. Jane McGonigal. Check out her book, Super Better. Last thing is, join the Financial Champion Academy if you would like to be part of the community. We are going to end our lesson here in a minute or so, but I want to let you know that we're here to support you, and we have weekly webinars here. But after the webinar's over, we continue on in a small group, and we discuss these lessons, and we discuss how to implement it and activate it into your business and how to apply it. That is a Financial Champion Academy. We have the FCA membership, and we have FCA Pro, where you get an additional Thursday night. We talk about like mentorship, and we put you on the hot seat, and we really go over into details. Let's apply this in your life. So a very good group coaching there on Thursday nights. I hope you'll join us, and I hope you'll sign up. If not, continue to come back to our webinars. Share this with other people. We'd love to see you in the next one. Thanks for joining us.